So the dogs and I are up in Huntsville, Utah. It's a really pretty area. There's some ski resorts up here, and we're just on a bike trail right now. But for those of you that don't follow the channel, these are my dogs, Jax and Cinder, and they are Dutch Shepherds. Their mom was half Dutch and half Malinois, so I guess they're 3/4 Dutch and 1/4 Malinois. But you can see they're out just having a good time here. So Jax and Cinder, they have the same parents, they're just from a different litter. Jax is about a year older than Cinder. 3 out of 4 of their grandparents were working police canines, so they kind of have the genetics to have a lot of drive, and I don't think either of them would really make the cut to be a police canine. Jax is kind of, I guess, skittish, a little unpredictable. I don't always know how he's going to act around people. And Cinder, she's extremely confident, and you can see her running around here. She acts like she owns the place, but she's a little hard-headed, stubborn, and kind of just does her own thing. She's fairly obedient, but she goes to the beat of her own drum, that's for sure. So in getting these dogs, I was pretty worried that either I wouldn't be able to handle them based on some of the forums that I had read, that they're a handful and they have tons of energy and you have to be out working with them 5 hours a day or whatever. There's a lot of people online that make you think that they won't make good pets. So when I went to go pick out Jax, I kind of looked for the dog that was more submissive and kind of the least energetic of the bunch. And I haven't had any regrets whatsoever with either of the dogs. They aren't too much for me. And I kind of consider myself an average Joe. But after some of the comments that I've gotten on some of my videos, people are concerned that I am kind of promoting a breed that most people can't handle or take care of. And the more I've thought about it, I think that's actually true. I had a comment that said, 90% of people can't handle this breed. And when I think about, a lot of the people that I know that own dogs, probably they shouldn't own, an energetic dog that takes a lot of time and energy. Most people, at least in the part of the country that I live in, are pretty lazy. A lot of them don't get out and do things. They spend their nights, binge watching Netflix or whatever. And some might think that if they get an athletic dog that needs to burn energy, it'll kind of force them to get out and have a jogging partner. But if you're not jogging now, you're not going to jog with your new dog. If you live paycheck to paycheck, probably shouldn't get a dog, right? Dogs are expensive. If your house is a pigsty and you don't even have the energy to keep up on that, you probably don't have the energy to get a new dog. And if your kids don't behave right, your dog probably won't either. So when it comes to energetic breeds, make sure you're an energetic person that likes to get out and do things. These dogs don't want to sit home all day. They continuously want to be stimulated, especially mentally. Training them is just as important, I think, as getting out and running with them. Obviously, having 2 dogs helps a lot. If you have a big backyard, they can run around with each other. The dogs that I grew up with, we had a Alaskan Malamute, and we had kind of a Beagle mix. And those dogs were completely different from these. Those dogs were okay, kind of just doing their own thing, and they weren't glued to you like these are. I heard a lot of people talk about, Dutch Shepherds and Belgian Malinois being kind of Velcro breeds, And the dogs I grew up with, if you leave the front door open, they'd be gone. You'd have to go look for them. Jax and Cinder, they won't even really go into the backyard without me with them, and when I go back in the house, they follow me right back. So I really don't have any worries being out here with the dogs that they're going to run off or anything like that, which is a huge bonus. They they are very protective. I think I heard some dog trainers say online that, you know, a protection breed, the way they act, you know, is about 50% genetics and 50% how you train them, right? I personally researched dog breeds for a couple years before I decided I wanted to get a Dutch Shepherd or a Belgian Malinois. The kind of the deciding factors for these dogs were that they're intelligent, they're protective, and they're pretty healthy breeds. There's a lot of other good protection breeds out there, like German Shepherds or Dobermans. I was pretty close to getting a Doberman at one point. I feel like as far as health-wise, the Dutch Shepherds and Belgian Malinois maybe have an edge there, even though there's a lot of great dogs out there. You know, and when I was looking at a breed, you know, I went into it knowing that I was basically just being selfish, right? I wanted a dog that would suit my lifestyle as well as possible. You know, none of my decision was trying to, you know, get a rescue dog or try to, you know, get a dog to improve their life, even though I try to, you know, make my dogs' lives as, you know, enjoyable as possible. I wanted a dog that would protect my house when I'm gone. I wanted a dog that my neighbors would be scared of, and they would know that when I'm at work, all of my valuables are off limits to them because my dogs wouldn't allow it, right? I kind of get a kick out of training dogs tricks and seeing athletic dogs jump up on things, and so that was part of kind of my criteria is a super athletic dog, one that doesn't have a ton of health problems, one that's intelligent enough that I can train them, and one that will protect my stuff. And based on that criteria, I haven't had any complaints with these dogs. I truly feel like it's their goal in life to make sure that I'm safe, that the house is protected, and that nobody comes into the backyard. You know, there's some trade-offs with that. You know, when somebody comes over, the dogs are very leery of them, and sometimes I'm a little bit nervous that the people coming over will be scared of the dogs or whatever, but I really wouldn't have it any other way. If I wanted a dog that would just go up and lick every stranger or every person that came over, you know, I would definitely choose a different breed. To consider getting a dog like this, understand that you'll have to sacrifice a bunch of your free time, that these dogs need to be trained and be played with, and they need to burn a lot of energy. You have to have kind of a firm hand with them. Like I said earlier, if your kids don't respect you, these dogs won't respect you. You have to be alpha, and you have to be somebody that they will look up to. So yeah, I don't recommend these dogs for everybody, but there is, you know, maybe the 10% of people that are responsible and have their lives together that can take care of these dogs. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and any feedback is always welcome. I'm not an expert on any of this. I just talk about my experiences. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, consider subscribing, and if you like the video, leave a thumbs up.